All right, so my name is Claudia, and I've been a dietitian for about 10 years. I went to school in Florida, and then I moved to New York, then I moved here, so I'm a halfback the other way. I've worked with people, like mostly adults, but in different settings. I've worked in hospitals. I currently work full-time in Mission as well. And I worked in nursing homes. I work outpatient. So I've tried a little bit here and there in the nutrition world. Breaking Bag Nutrition came about because as much as I do like the hospital setting, I like working with people that are very sick and they need my help. I also like working with all of us who are here. You guys hopefully are not very sick, but I can still help you, and I can still share my passion for food and nutrition with all of you. So the cover page for the packet I gave you has two little quotes that I like and I live by in a way. So nutrition is not about the weight you lose, it's about the health you gain. So if anyone wants to share what that means to them, how that resonates with them. Me? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, go.
To me, it's about eating to fuel the activities that I like and not doing activities to eat what I would like to eat. It's more about fueling my body to enable it to do things rather than doing the junk food and then being like, oh wait, now I need to go run 10 miles.
Yeah. Right. And along with that goes that eating well doesn't only translate to weight. We're such a society so focused on weight and how I look. And it doesn't have to be all about your weight. Inside, your body is working nonstop 24 hours to keep us alive and breathing. And eating healthfully will continue. Aww. That is such a lovely introduction.
We can hear you humming up the little elevator. Sorry, Claudia.
It's okay. He's worth it.
Oh my gosh, he's eating a lot.
Yeah. He's ready to eat his second breakfast.
His mid-morning snack. All right, so that's that. So nutrition is not just about losing weight and this and staying fit, but it's like you're nourishing your body, right? So you're making sure your body has the fuel to function, for your heart to beat, for you to breathe, for you to have good blood pressure, all of these things that we don't necessarily think about because they're not external. Not everybody else sees it. So you're the only person that knows if that's working for you. And then the other quote is focus on health and healthy behaviors. Weight is not a behavior. So when we're, this whole workshop, we've talked about so many things that are, our fitness goals and all that. These are all behaviors that will result and translate into a healthy body and a healthy weight. It's not that weight isn't important, it's not a behavior. You can't change your weight just because you want to, but you can change your behaviors to achieve your goals. So into that, so there's a little blurb there about normal eating. You guys can read it on your own. Normal eating is eating when you're hungry, honoring your body, and just following your signs, the signs that your body gives you to nourish it, okay? So intuitive eating is a method or a series of steps that you'll take to achieve normal eating and don't fear food and just fuel your body the way nature intended to, okay? So I'm gonna share with you, we were sharing books before, but I don't wanna give it away. So these are, you can say, the Bible of many dietitians. Intuitive eating, if you ever want to read something to help you achieve this, this is a very easy book to read. I particularly love the workbook. I don't think you need both, but it depends. It has a lot of little exercises like we were doing today, where you write down things and you really dive into how you relate with food, how your emotions, how your lifestyle, how your behaviors relate to food. So these are really great resources if you guys are interested in a light read. It takes you a little bit to get through it, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, so there are 10 principles to intuitive eating. Oh wait, the 3 P's, sorry. I moved fast. So the 3 P's of intuitive eating is paying attention, listen to your body. Again, I like French fries. I do. I love them. Okay, I love salty food. I'm like the salty food person, not like the one that wants to eat cookies. Do I feel great afterwards? Generally, I don't. And that's listening to your body. Like, I have people tell me, so you tell me I can eat fried chicken all day? I'm like, does it make you feel good? That's what you need to ask yourself. Afterwards, do you feel sluggish? Do you feel low energy? You feel probably very tired after having such a heavy meal. You don't have the energy you want. So you're working backwards. So it's listening to your body. The second P is be patient with yourself. We're not perfect. We're not striving for perfection. So be patient with yourself. You'll have days that you don't want to work out. You'll have days that you're like, I just don't feel like really focusing on food. And that's okay. Doesn't mean that that should be your normal, but we all have ups and downs in mood and energy, in time of the day. So just be patient with yourself in any process, including nutrition. And then the last P is practice. Knowledge does not equal being a master of what you're learning or being an expert. It's just knowledge. So practice is how you get good at it. So having this sheet of all this stuff that I'm going to tell you doesn't mean you're going to be perfect by tomorrow, but the more you practice those little tools, then the better you get at it. So be patient with yourself. It all goes back to being kind and patient with your body. So intuitive eating has 10 basic principles, and I just listed the principles, and you guys can jot down some ideas of things I'm going to say, what resonates with you, etc. So reject the diet mentality. What does that mean? Everything you knew about all these diets, kind of like take it out of your mind if you can. The Atkins did this or that. Diets, there's a reason why diets in a way don't work long term. It's because it's a diet, it starts and it ends. Now if you can make it into a lifestyle and you feel good with it and continue on it, then that's your lifestyle. But diets themselves don't necessarily work because it has this connotation that it starts and it ends. When it ends, your health journey ends. So ask yourself, why? Why am I doing this? And when you focus on your goal, you can dive more into how you're going to get there. One of the things that intuitive eating talks about a lot is that don't starve yourself. A lot of these are like drink cranberry juice for 5 days straight. But then your body is going to be craving food because food is our fuel. It's like trying to run a car without gas, right? So when the thing with starving yourself or restricting your eating so much is that it's like the forbidden fruit. When you can't have it, you can't stop thinking about it. I have that cookie in the fridge, but I can't have it because my diet tells me I can't. But you can't stop thinking about it because it's there and because you know you can't have it. And then sometimes you get to the point, I can't have it, I'm just gonna have the whole box because what the hell? So it's those things that it's like the rules, you make your own rules. You enjoy a cookie with your coffee? Well, have a cookie. That's fine, if it makes you feel good. If it doesn't make you feel good, don't have it. Honor your hunger. So hunger is a way of your body telling you, I need food, I need fuel. When you get to the point of being hangry, the new term, you're too late. You're way too late. So one of the things that we practice is identify your hunger cues. I hear a lot of people tell me, I'm never hungry in the morning when I get up. And that comes from ignoring your hunger cues for too long. Yeah. It's like you do this for years. Yeah. you don't feel it after a while, even if it's raw, because you're smacking your hand for 10 minutes and it's red and you're like, but I don't feel it anymore, because you get so accustomed to not listening to your body and your hunger cues. So that's one thing, that the first step is starting to learn what your hunger cues are. Some people, it's not necessarily your stomach growling. You get moody, feel sleepy. Some people cannot focus. They're like trying to read something, like, but I can't focus. That might be your cue. Your body's asking you for more fuel. So it's exploring what hunger means to your body and how your body tells you. And honoring your hunger is a form of self-care. We talk about self-care now, wellness, and like go to the spa and like have a day for yourself. And honoring your hunger is self-care. You're nourishing your body. The third principle is making peace with food. It's just a little hard sometimes. It's not about giving in to the forbidden foods. It's about, there's all food fits, right? All whole foods fit. Yeah, I wouldn't consider processed food because it's chemically based. But all whole foods fit. So some people, like there's not one food on the planet that you must have to survive. So I don't like broccoli, don't eat it. Find something you like. It's totally fine. So make peace with food and don't over-restrict yourself, because again, you'll go into that cycle of, I'm gonna eat it all because what's the point? I have no control of my body, but you do. And it's not about control, it's about honoring what your body's asking you for. Number 4, challenge the food police. So we are surrounded by food police with our family, with our friends, at work, with ourselves. The food police lives in your mind. You sit down and you're like, wait, does this have sugar? And you start like thinking, and oh, I shouldn't have this because it has sugar. Or, oh, this is fattening, I shouldn't have this. So challenge that. Like, why am I saying, where did I learn this? We're not born with these thoughts. These are learned behaviors. Somebody told us that it was bad, and we learned it was bad. And be very skeptical about nutrition information out there. You can ask Google a million questions, and it'll give you 100 million answers, and not all of them are reliable. So go to a trusted resource, whether it is a dietitian, someone you know who you trust, a book written by a reliable source. But be skeptical about the stuff that you hear out there, because you're going to create notions in your head of what's good or what's bad, but what's the science behind it? Why did I determine this is bad for me?
Claudio, can I ask?
Yeah.
I don't know if I invited you this morning in the Facebook group or not, but can you be in our private Facebook group with go-to, like if somebody has a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That they can just easily reach out to you there,
Yeah.
or by phone or text or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
And y'all have my card, reachable by phone, email, Instagram, and now Facebook. Yeah.
About the other side of challenging the food police, so you're already doing intuitive eating and feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
but other people are policing, like, I know I can't eat
Mm-hmm.
dairy because I will feel horrible afterwards.
Right.
People challenge me.
Yeah.
How
So
do
that is your environment, like you were saying before, like creating an environment that nourishes you as well. You can't necessarily avoid every person that will, like as a dietitian, I know you can relate. Whenever I sit at a table, especially with people I haven't met, the first thing is like, what are you eating? And they're policing me because they're expecting me to be like, to set the tone or, like be the example for the table. And I'm like, I'm only human and I'm out with my friends celebrating a birthday. And my body feels like having this hamburger today. And I'm gonna have it, and I'm gonna eat up until I feel full. And when I want to stop, I'll stop. Or if I leave half of my plate, I hear oh, you're on a diet because she's a dietitian. That must be why. And it's like, it's not. One thing is that yes, I've learned how to listen to my body. I'm full. I'm gonna stop, and that's fine. And it could be macaroni and cheese, or it could be a salad. doesn't matter. But I'm listening to my body. So to answer your question, it's more like creating boundaries and telling people with respect, I don't eat dairy because it doesn't agree with me. And I hope you can respect that. I've had, it happens a lot too in family gatherings. Like vegetarians that go to Thanksgiving, they're like, oh, you're ruining Thanksgiving because how are you not going to eat turkey? So respect my choice. I'm not, I always often tell people, like, especially if you're going to like a party, and I'm sure most people do this, especially if you have like something like that, like dairy, offer to bring something. I'll bring something. And if you tell me what you're making, then I know what I should make to like go with that. And that way you don't have to worry about like how I eat. But also telling very nicely to your friends and family, this is what I think feels good for me. And this is what my body needs and asks me for. So I hope you can respect that. And sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people are just like, oh, she's being dramatic. Yeah. Or, oh, it's a myth. You can have all the dairy you want. And that's all you can do. But it's creating the boundaries and saying, you don't even have to go into why, but this is what my body wants, needs. And what I choose to, hey, if I choose to eat apples every day, it makes me feel good. Nobody should tell me why not. It's your body. Respect your fullness. So this is one of the things that, besides honoring your hunger, is knowing when to stop. And it's not because, oh, portion control. It's not that. Everyone, and this is so true, has a different amount of food they need to nourish their body. Okay, this is not like because, and to a degree, yeah, your height, your weight determines that, your age, all that. But I've known, actually, I have a friend who has a twin. They're not identical twins, but they're twins, and they have completely different metabolisms. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what one does, the other one is like a toothpick, and the other one turns out to be more curvy. And it frustrated her to death until she accepted, you know what, like I am doing what's best for my body. I feel good, like why am I trying to look like her? So everybody needs a different level of food, amount of food, but you know that if you start listening to your body. So respecting your fullness is, first of all, chew your food well. Whatever you're eating, sit down, take a bite at a time, chew your food. And if you eat slowly, you'll give your body enough time to realize you're eating. When you eat fast, it takes your brain about 20 minutes to realize you started to eat. So when you finish your meal in 5 minutes, you didn't give your body enough time to realize you even started. So eat slow. One tool that I use, I had a boyfriend before I was married, many years ago. And he was the one that pointed it out. He's like, you eat really fast. He's like, I'm not going to take your food. I mean, he said it jokingly. But I never realized he took me out to dinner and I'll be finished with my food. And I realized it was because I worked in a restaurant. You have 5 minutes to eat, so I chopped down the food. And I got used to doing that in my daily life, not only when I was working. So a tool that I find helpful is take a bite, put the fork down. Don't have another bite ready. The moment you have this other bite ready, you swallow, next. Put the fork down, enjoy that bite. Eating is a null sensory experience. So when you miss out on the crunch of the food, if it's savory, if it's mushy, if it's salty, all of these things you're missing out on the whole experience. And so the faster you eat, the more you're missing out. So yeah, put the fork down, take a bite. You ready for the next one? Then pick up your fork, fill it up with whatever, put it in your mouth. I like that. That'll help you. It's a behavior that'll help you pace yourself. And eventually you won't have to do it. You won't think about it. It'll be second nature. When should you stop eating? It's when you feel that first signal of I'm full. If you say, well, I have 3 bites left, like I might as well finish. Chances are that by the time you finish that 3rd bite, and this happens to me a lot with sushi, I'm like, I have 3 little pieces left. It's such a waste. And I'm like, now I'm uncomfortably full. So that I know that I'm like, oh, I don't like how I feel. I'm going to remember that next time. But our body tells us when it's full, and we just sometimes don't listen. So it's all about, again, listening to your body. Sound like a broken record, but it's true. And I don't know how many of you are in this club, but I certainly am. Clean Your Plate Club. Mm-hmm. I grew up with a mother who told me that they were starving children in Africa. And I was lucky to have food, and you don't get up until you finish your plate. So that was my mentality growing up, which was great in the sense because I didn't want to finish my food, and of course I needed to whatever grow. I was behind compared to the kids. I get that. But it translated into my adult life where whenever you serve me a food, if I go to someone's house and they serve me a giant plate, I felt like I had to finish it, even if I was uncomfortably full. So if you're in the clean your plate club, you don't have to be. You can always say if you at someone's house and you can't finish the meal because it's too big or it's just you're not that hungry that day, say, I really loved it, but I'm just very full. And if you don't mind, I'll take it home for another time. Because you don't want to offend your host, right? You don't want to offend your mom, whoever's cooking for you. So respectfully, say, I'm just very full. I loved your meal. I might take the rest home if you don't mind. And that's it. But listen to your body. You do not have to clean the plate. Discover the satisfaction in food. So, like I was saying before, eating is an all-sensory experience. When you sit down at the table, try to avoid distractions. And we are in a society that we think we need to be busy 100% of the time and productive. So we think I'm going to have breakfast while I check my email, right? And I'm being super productive. But you're missing out. You're looking at your email, not at your food. So you're eating mindlessly. Try to avoid distractions. This isn't, again, 80-20. You cannot do it 100% of the time, and that's totally fine. But when able, try to avoid distractions. Enjoy the food. Look at the food, oh wow, this plate is colorful. Look how pretty this is. Smells good. Let me start. Take your first bite. Oh, that lettuce is crunchy. And some people don't like that. Don't like my husband doesn't like tomatoes because they explode in your mouth. So, but I like that. I like biting into a tomato and it's like an explosion in my mouth. So everyone's different. But enjoy every little sensation about eating between the smell, what visually it looks. If you make your plate attractive, it'll make you want to eat it. Even some people are like, I don't like salads. And then I start naming things and I'm like, you do like them. You just maybe think of a salad as this bowl of lettuce with a piece of grilled chicken on top, and that's not a salad. So make your food visually appealing. Lots of colors usually make you want to have the food. So number 7, honor your feelings without using food. So yeah, food gives us comfort. We grew up in a society where we use food to celebrate. We go to parties, there's food. We get married, there's a bunch of food. And we nurture. You're sick, what does your mom do? She makes you soup and she brings you stuff home and she wants to feed it to you. So we use food for comfort, and that's normal. Now, is it healthy for us to use food as a coping mechanism when we're stressed? So it's more than, I'm an emotional eater. We all are in a way an emotional eater, but don't label yourself. Food does not have to be your coping mechanism. So what I mean by that is find other things that make you feel good when you are in that time of stress. So sometimes when I'm at work, I'm like, I feel anxious. I have 100 things to do. How am I ever going to get this done? I have 4 hours left of the day. What do? I could turn to food, and I have in the past. Not perfect, because it makes me feel good. And for a moment, I'm like, it's all good. I'm going to be fine. I have food. But there are other things. If you're feeling like that, take a walk around the block. It'll clear your mind, then you can get started on your tasks. Take a moment I started doing meditation not too long ago. I'm a newbie at this, but it does help me. Just like the beginning, you were like the breathing. I was like, oh, I love this. It just makes me feel centered. And then I'm like, start over. It's like a switch, you restart. So find things, and a lot of people go to therapists, right? So if you do have a therapist, or if you don't, maybe look into it if you would like. But finding ways to cope with your feelings that it's not food. Because eating a pint of ice cream is not going to make you feel better. Okay? You're like, I'm sad, whatever happened, and I'm going to eat a pint of ice cream because it makes me feel better. But in the end, you're still not dealing with your feeling of feeling sad. Right? So it's okay to turn to food because it makes you feel good, except you're still not dealing with the root of the issue. So food isn't your psychologist or therapist. Respect your body. We all come in different sizes, different shapes. Just like I am a size 5.5, you should not expect me to be a size 8 or the other way around. We all have different shapes and sizes. So intuitive eating is this body acceptance mentality that we all come in different sizes, like the twins I was telling you about. And it's incredible because they share DNA, right? So they should have, no, they don't have the same metabolism. And we're all different, and we all have different body shapes. Should you not strive to be your better self? Of course you should, but accept how your body is. Like, I've had these hips since I was born, and I've had a big booty, and it just came out of nowhere. And my dad was like, you need to exercise more. So this is when the parents get into your head, right? Because he used to tell me I had guns here. I used to carry guns on my hips. I'm like, and eventually I learned that I need to stop listening to that stuff and accept my body. I was made curvy, and that's who I am. And I still work out, and it still makes me feel good, but these are not going anywhere, even if I try hard. Almost done. Number 9, exercise and feel the difference, right? So don't use exercise as your punishment. I ate a cookie, I need to go run 10 miles. No, exercise doesn't feel good when you use it as a punishment. And if it doesn't feel good, you won't do it. So just like we've spent all morning talking about our fitness goals and all of that, find your jam, find something that makes you feel good. If it's walking 20 minutes every day, perfect. It makes you feel good. That's the point of exercise, is to make you feel good, not to use it to punish yourself for the mistakes you made throughout the day. And last but not least is honor your health, gentle nutrition. So this is actually now when I'm going to dive into nutrition. So gentle nutrition, it's the concept of like really using food to fuel your body. If you have high blood pressure, yes, I'm going to tell you probably that you shouldn't have things that have salt, right? Or use very little salt. So that's you honoring your health. But only you can do that. And it's not because I put you on a diet. It's because you know that then your blood pressure will go up if you have a lot of salt. And you know it doesn't make you feel good, so you don't do it. You don't go nutrient deficient if you don't eat vegetables for a day. So don't beat yourself up. If you do it most days, you should be fine. It's not an all or nothing. It's not like, oh, I fell off the wagon, I'm just going to eat everything I want now, and diet starts Monday. It's okay. You did a day that maybe you weren't paying as much attention to the way you eat. It's fine. Just move on. Honor your taste buds. So if you don't like something, there's no reason why you should have it. Period. I don't like peppers. That is the one food I despise in this world. I've tried. I know I miss out on a lot of recipes because they sound delicious. Like stuffed peppers are usually like, they sound good, but I cannot stand the smell. I do not need peppers to survive. There are plenty of foods that have the same nutrients and I can have them. So that's what I mean. There's no like, well, this diet says I should eat beet juice every day, but I hate how it tastes. Well, don't have it. Why are you punishing your body? So with that, we're going to move on to the next page. And this is the easiest way of knowing if you're getting enough vegetables and enough nutrients. So you have a circle on your page, right? I want you to draw a line through the middle, divide it in 2. On the one half, I want you to write your top 10 favorite fruits and vegetables.
Which side?
Doesn't matter. Pick one. That you like, yeah, your favorites. Or the ones that you eat the most because they're convenient year-round, whatever. All right, so this represents your plate. So as long as half of your plate is filled with any fruits and vegetables you like, I'm not going to tell you which ones. All of you know what you like or don't like. You're good. This is how you're getting your multivitamin. This is your multivitamin. So for every meal you have, your plate should have this. And it's not a diet because I'm not telling you what to eat, right? You're choosing what to eat. Now the other half, draw another line and divide it in half again. So write down what proteins you like. So protein is chicken, fish, beef, pork, tofu, eggs, legumes. So write a couple. It doesn't have to be that much. For me, I love beans and chickpeas and lentils. And I like tuna. So you divide your plate in half, vegetables here. This 1/3 is your protein. One of the things that it's been kind of like pushed through diets a lot throughout the last like 30 years or more is that eat more protein, eat more protein, protein. Yeah, your body needs protein, that's for sure. But you don't need a lot unless you like weightlift, like you're an athlete, a competitive athlete. You guys, the marathoners, you might need to eat a little more. But for the general population, you need a small amount of protein on your plate. It's about the size of the palm of your hand, and that should suffice. You don't need to eat these like 36-ounce steaks at Outback, okay? It's excessive, or whatever it is. I don't even remember how many, but they're excessive. Like literally nobody needs to eat that much. And you won't absorb the protein if you eat a lot of protein at once. So there's no purpose of you eating like these protein-packed meals. And then here, the last little bit would be your starch or your carbs. And I know you were saying how you crave carbs, you can't live without carbs. There's a reason for that, because our body's main fuel is carbs. Okay, your brain only survives off of carbs, sugar. So of course your body is going to ask you for it. What are the best types of carbs? The ones that come from fruits and vegetables, yes, and legumes. But you can eat carbs. There's no reason why you shouldn't if you like them. Rice, pasta, potatoes. Try to eat the skin of any vegetable if you can. It'll add more fiber to your diet and more vitamins. So that's your plate. That's your diet. That's it. It's simple. It sounds simple, right? But when you go to a restaurant, that's what you should strive for. It's like, well, I want to have that. Just ask for more vegetables to put on the side, because generally vegetables, they put them as like this little side dish. So I usually ask, can you just bring me more? And they usually don't care, to make sure you're getting enough. So the last little bit is I want to give you some tools for meal planning and grocery shopping. So keeping this in mind, this is a way of building your meals for the week.
So you put in fats in that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And we did nuts and seeds that those are my protein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the nuts and seeds would go here. So yeah, a little dab of fat. So that would be the cooking oil you use, nonstick, a salad dressing. So just a dab, It's a dressing, it's not a drench.
So you don't put nuts with the fats?
Yes, nuts would be considered the protein in this case, because nuts do contain protein and contain the fat. But for us vegetarians, we rely on our nuts for a lot of the protein.
How much you're finishing with that?
Yeah. Okay. So the meal planning part. Okay. So a few little tools for that. So set aside a time of the week, a day and a time where you can actually do this. For me, it's Sundays. Everyone's schedule is different. For most people, it'll be once a week. Sometimes people can only do it once every 2 weeks. So find, just like you fit in your planners, when you're going to work out this week, when are you going to go grocery shopping and meal planning? If you don't plan, you're more likely to not succeed or not do it as well as you could. And plan a few meals for the week. So say like on Monday, I want to have pasta. On Tuesday, I want to have salmon. On Thursday, just jot down ideas. Go to the supermarket with a plan. Not only this helps you not to overspend, but it also helps you really get what you need and not get distracted. Oh, this is on sale. Well, this could be on sale. That's great, but maybe you don't need it this week. Maybe that's not in your plan. If you don't know what to cook, I suggest using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method there. Buy any 5 fruits and vegetables that you like. so that you have at least for 5 meals of the week to make something. Buy 4 proteins, 3 starches, 2 sauces or dressings that you want to put in it, and buy 1 frozen or ready-to-eat meal. I know we're like, oh, fresh foods is all great, but if it's between you actually having a good meal, or rather you have something that you bought already frozen and you chose in advance, then, well, I don't have time today, so I'm just gonna go and have whatever and not even do the thought process. But if you have something easy, that day that you're like, when shit hits the fan, you can pull out that and it'll save you a ton of time. Go grocery shopping on a full stomach. Do not go hungry. You are more likely to buy things you really don't need or are not on your list. I recommend you try a new recipe once a week or once a month. Just try something new every so often. Your taste buds do change over time. So even though you didn't like something before, you might like it now. And if you still don't like it, that's fine. Oh, I haven't seen this fruit before. Let me try it. Buy it. Be adventurous. Your taste buds like that. I hear it so often. People are like, I'm so bored of food. Like, I just don't know what to eat anymore. It's because we don't add variety to our day. So not every day you're going to try something new, but do try it throughout your month a few times. Go to a familiar supermarket. That just helps with like just efficiency and not getting distracted and not getting things that you might not want. Fresh is best. However, the next best thing would be frozen. So frozen doesn't go bad, so that's great. You can keep it in the freezer. You can always have it available, but it's not your enemy. Frozen food is actually, they freeze it right after being harvested, so it keeps its nutritional value. Cook once, eat twice. So if you know you love a recipe, say chili, cook more of it, freeze it. That could be your frozen meal that you have in your fridge so when you got home super tired and feel like doing nothing. And once or twice a week, I try to like chop all the vegetables I bought. That just saves me time. Sometimes I even cook them and just put in containers and keep them in the refrigerator. When I get home, all I have to do is pull that out and prepare whatever else I'm going to make with that. That just saves you time. If you're going to cut a zucchini, you might as well cut the broccoli and whatever and just have it ready. And so it just saves you time and gets you prepared for your week. And be flexible and forgiving with yourself. If today it did not happen, it's totally fine. The next day, you just wake up and it's a new day. There's no falling out and I'm a loser, I didn't achieve this, I can't keep up with the diet, it's just not in me. It's not true. Just be gentle with yourself. Any questions? I'm thirsty.
Questions for Claudia?
Or later. You can ask me individually too.
That was helpful, thank you. I didn't know that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a good tip.
Yeah. It just simplifies. If you're like, I forgot my list at home, or like I know I need to grocery shopping, but I didn't plan. It's just